what's up guys, Robert from LoamWolf.com here. Thanks for tuning in to this first ride report on Merida's brand new eONE-SIXTY Carbon. This is a Shimano powered full-on enduro, full power e-bike. But before I dive into the details, let's cut to John at Merida, who's going to give us a little run through of the bike before we talk about how it's been performing out on the trails here in Italy.
Hi, I'm John from Merida, and here we have the all-new Merida eONE-SIXTY in the CF, which means full carbon fibre version. So we actually do 3 new bikes in our kind of new e-mountain bike range, and they all share a similar platform with our new fast kinematic suspension design, so flex stay there. It's adjustable for wheel size, although these bikes all run mixed wheels, and it's also size tuned, so the kinematic gets a bit more progressive if you go up the sizes. But this bike is quite special because it is a full power e-bike, but it's also a pretty lightweight one. So in this build, which is kind of a proper spec, double down rear casing tyre, 38 fork, X2 shock, all kind of tough enduro ready stuff. We're looking at a weight of around 21.8 kilos, which isn't bad. And that is with a Shimano EP801 motor and a 600 watt-hour non-use removable battery. But if you do need more range, you can actually increase that by using our 360 watt-hour range extender that you simply fit on some mounts here, and then it boosts the range up to a pretty decent 960 watt-hours. And then it also takes the weight round to your kind of conventional alloy-framed e-bike. So, other things we've done, we've got our kind of height adjustable dropper post here, so anywhere from 30 to 230 mils of travel, which with our kind of reach space sizing means you can size up if you want a big stable bike, down if you want like a fun playful bike. Again, I mentioned the different wheel sizes you can run. All the bikes come with mixed mullet wheel setup as standard. You can run a 29er, you just adjust it on the flip chip here. Travel wise, it's the eONE-SIXTY, so obviously it's got 170 mil travel at the front, and in this setup, 174 mil at the back. So like this is like a proper enduro bike. We very much see that in the world of e-bikes, some people are all kind of fixated on battery capacity, and if you just care about battery capacity and range, that's fine. We've got an aluminium bike with a user removable 750 watt-hour battery that also takes the range extender, but this bike is for the people that kind of value a bit more kind of normal bike handling, and because the weight is much lower down here, it looks much more like a normal bike, but the more important thing is it handles much more like an unpowered bike, especially the way it kind of turns in. And to be honest, like when you're riding it, it's quite hard to notice it's an e-bike, and I'm hoping that when Robert goes for a spin in the liquid sunshine of Italy later, he enjoys it.
So as John alluded to there, this is definitely a bike that is designed to attack, to offer plenty of confidence for attacking some properly rough and rowdy trails. And to be fair, as you will see from all of the riding footage that I've had and all the riding time that I've had on this bike, the trails haven't exactly led themselves to necessarily providing the best testing ground to really put this thing through its paces. It has been very much a case of survival as we've been attacking the trails with all the rain on them. But one thing is for sure, this thing has been a whole lot of fun even in those conditions, and definitely wasn't the limiting factor for me pushing hard and having a fun time getting rowdy. We did only manage to test the mid-size. I'd probably be more likely to opt for the slightly longer long, but this sort of sits just below my ideal size for an e-bike, whereas the long sits slightly above it, I would say. So actually this hasn't proved to be a terrible size for me with its 460 mil or so reach. Even though I'm 6'2", I do always say you want to go down a size or down, certainly 10 to 15 mil in reach measurements for an e-bike compared to a regular bike. So yeah, certainly this hasn't been unrideable by any means. Definitely a little bit more on the compact side in terms of the cockpit feel, but then it's plenty slack, plenty long in the rear end, and definitely has the kind of stability and confidence to push hard even if you do decide to go down a size. Pedaling performance is an e-bike after all. it definitely has not been terrible. The 600 watt-hour battery isn't the biggest, obviously, compared to many of the bikes that are coming with at least 630, if not 720 or more batteries these days. So I did notice that after 2 runs here, I was starting to get down to the very bottom end of that battery life. Which, I mean, this is not a small hill by any means. It was definitely not an easy climb. The conditions, the trails were not running very fast. So I don't think it's terrible, but definitely that range extender that Merida offers may really come in handy on this bike, just to have that, stick it in the packs, leave it in the truck, whatever, when you're riding, and then whack it on to get an extra lap at the end of the day. It's definitely nice to see it, and it seems like the integration, or the way that it bolts on so solidly to some really nice big tabs on the down tube is going to make it a really nice solid fit. And of course it's going to add some weight to the bike, and this is already not a super lightweight full power bike, but given its proper realistic burly capable build kit, it's definitely not bad, and its agility when you're riding is quite impressive. So overall it's been a lot of fun. Like I say, this has not been the conditions where I'm able to really feel the nuances of the bike, but what I would say is that off the top, the suspension feels incredible. Especially with this Float X2, I did find, or did hear from Luke, who I was riding with, that the RockShox suspension package maybe wasn't quite offering the same level of suppleness off the top that he would have wanted anyway, but like with only 1 day riding, it's very possible that both of us, or at least Luke, wasn't able to quite get the suspension setup nailed. But in terms of this bike here, as you see it, that Fox X2 with the Merida rear end has been feeling really good, and definitely helped me keep traction in the loose conditions out here. I wasn't really able to send this thing very hard. There wasn't many big jumps, that's for sure, but through some of the harder compressions, especially some of the massive kind of creeks that have been left by all the rain here, it wasn't blowing through its travel, it wasn't wallowing at any point. It's definitely got enough kind of support to still let you push it. And yeah, overall I have been quite impressed, but this has been a very short first ride review, and you should stay tuned and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a long-term review coming in the summer, where I'm going to be logging many more miles on one of these, and I'm really excited for that, to find out exactly where its capability tops out. But with a 174mm rear end that feels really capable, it's safe to say this thing is definitely up for some rowdy times, and it's been a pleasure to test so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed checking out this brief overview of the brand new Merida eONE-SIXTY CF. Do head to the website if you want to learn some of the more kind of finer details on it, and like I say, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on a longer term review coming in the future. Thank you for watching, catch you out on the trails.